Hello YouTube, the Alpha Hunter has returned, and after a while, because I really had no idea what I should talk about, haven't been getting very many comments about any ideas about what to talk about next. So I was listening to some radio and really just trying to figure out if there's anything worthy to talk about that hasn't really been talked about that much. And then a tidbit of meat came in that I decided to enjoy. For a little while at least. And this one, and in today's video, as you can probably tell by the title, the Uncontroversial Controversy, Love. Now, the reason why it's a controversy, and also not a controversy simultaneously is, well, let me just try to exemplify it before I try to elaborate on such a point. So, in the comments, I want you to post what you think love is. Define love in your own words. Me, I have mine, and even though I've already taken a look into it, mine hasn't really changed that much. So I'll also do the same thing and leave it in the comments below. And then once you do that, be prepared to be amazed. You should be about done with your comment and continue typing. I just wanted to give y'all the dictionary definition while you finish up. It says here, according to dictionary, love, the first definition, is an intense feeling of deep affection. I thought that was an interesting first straight off the bat. An intense feeling of deep affection. Huh. I think that's pretty interesting that the dictionary would come up with that. But since there's already several different types of love, that they might have some kind of basis for which most everybody uses it. Speaking of the several different types of love, let's start out with the first one. The first one I want to talk about is, well, all these are in Greek, so mind you, I may have a problem with pronouncing them. But if I can think correctly, this first one I want to talk about is Eros, E-R-O-S, and that's Greek for the more intimate and passionate love, usually for one other person. It's something similar to the couple on the wedding night, and I think many of you get the idea about that. The second one is called Storge. S-T-O-R-G-E, like storage without the A. This type of love is for family. It's the love you give to your siblings or your mother or your cousins, even though personally you may not like them. Trust me, I have a sibling in mind whom I really don't like that much, and I also have another relative of mine who I'm on the fence about, but I know that I care about them because they're family. So, here on the definition, it says the protective, kinship-based love you likely experience with family members. So, how's that for instance? Storge, for family. Jokes aside, this next one's really gonna start irritating a few people if I pronounce it wrong. So, I think it's really weird that they had this, but I'm gonna pronounce it this way. It's called Philia. P-H-I-L-I-A. And in this Greek word, Philia is a friendship or shared goodwill. The kind of love you have for your friends. You know, like the buddies you used to hang out with and do some crazy stuff with. The care, I would say, it's the care you have for your friends. And it's really something that happens because of bonds. I mean, with all the types of loves, they have to deal with the bond you have with them. The weaker the bond, generally, the less care, thus less love you give them. Which should give you a nudge and a wink at what I think love means. This last one I want to talk about today involves what is referenced in John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomever shall believe in him shall be saved. The love in that one, if it was translated to Greek, would most likely be this word, agape, A-G-A-P-E. It's called a spiritual love or a universal love. It's a care about everyone. And it's usually also the type of care you would also give to animals, plants, the world, the religion. As I said, it's a universal, more spiritual love. It's a care for everybody and hopes that they would become saved or follow the religion or follow a better cause. It's usually having to deal with one that is above, the greater good, some may say. It's a love for all to be part of the greater good. And to be honest, I can actually sit well with that. Caring about the greater good and wanting everybody to see it. But the problem is, nowadays, is, you know what? I'm actually going to talk about that next, so hold that thought. Agape is what is referenced, as I said, in John 3:16. For God cared so much about everybody in the world that he sent his only Son, that whomever might believe in him shall be saved. God universally cared about us all that he would do this. Now, it's just an example for those who might get a little bit, what's the word? Angry. Or triggered, as some say, but I just make fun of them by saying, where's your gun? Here's where the controversy arises. There are many groups out there who propose a different type of definition of love. Generally, to accept the person for what they say they are and not to impede them at all in what they do. So if they claim to be of a different sex, gender, race, whatever, you're supposed to say, okay, and then let them live their life. And let them do whatever they want to do. You can see the problem that arises from this. And this can start going to borderline abuse and neglect, even for children, all the way up to adults, but mainly for children. When I heard of transageism, which is going to be one of my first examples, I was completely baffled that they would try to do something like this. I know I joked about it, and well, you know what they say, careful what you wish for, you just might get it. And I did. This guy who had a wife and who had kids decided to transition not only his sex, but his age. So being however old he was for all that, turned himself into a 9-year-old girl to be adopted by a family. Sorry, I'm face-palming so hard right now because this is so stupid on so many levels. And then not to mention the whole, because of the transgender movement, they're now, and Target is one of them, allow men in women's restrooms who say they're women or who claim to be women, and they're allowed to go in there. You can imagine the type of problems that would arise because of that. And so, it's a problem entirely to use that definition of love, or just acceptance, and just enabling, I might say, and continue on with these shenanigans. These are going to get people hurt. These are going to get people killed. I need to look no further than when they try to teach kids the transitioning stuff. They did that some time ago, and these kids were going home completely confused, worried. And if I remember correctly, I heard that these girls were worried about themselves because they didn't know if they were a boy or not. They would try to be so convincing and press their idea hard enough onto them that some of them made transition. Wait. What? Hold on. You've got to be kidding me. So I just received a note. They're wanting to teach that, and also gay and lesbian. The LGBTQ community is now trying to impress upon your kids all of their ideas. And the schools are not even going to alert the parents about what's going on. Already they have stories here about the drag queens. The drag queens. Why are drag queens, some of whom are listed as sex offenders, going into schools and libraries and reading to your kids? Why would these people do that? Because they want to turn your kids' minds to mush, and then once it's cleaned out, fill them with their own ideas. Vampires. Ugh. Well, happy early Halloween, folks. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and after hearing about all this, let me know by posting in your comments section as a reply to your own definition if it's changed at all. I know I'll be posting mine, and I hope y'all have a good day. Thank you very much for watching. Like, rate, comment, subscribe, and let me know what to talk about next. Be interested to see the ideas y'all come up with. And as always, good hunting. You know, sometimes I wish that I could go and actually try to help solve some of these problems. But it's just like what Thousand Foot Crutch said. If I could just see it all, just like a fly on a wall, would I be able to accept what I can't control? And then the debate in me of whether I should share what I saw or just sit back and ignore it all and pretend like it never happened. I know I can't do the latter. If I see something, I want to try to solve it. But in this instance, it's much bigger and more out of my own paws. It makes me howl to the moon almost every night that I'm frustrated and I want to do something about it. It's difficult. It really is difficult. And well, I guess might be one of y'all's first time hearing about my hidden discussions, which I'm doing. But like I said, these are just hidden talk, and well, you'll hear them in most of my videos. From here on out, of course. I know I've did a few in the past videos, but in this instance, this is just to help kind of give more clarity to what I'm thinking, and hopefully that when I come back to it, I can understand how I was then and see myself evolve up to now. I want to stop all these bad things from happening. I want to. But I do have to remember one quote that I even said myself. The reason why it's kind of a joke, but there's a bit of truth to it. I used to say that there's a reason why there are so many idiots in the world. Makes you grateful for the actual smart people. As bad as it sounds, it's something that actually kind of gives me a little bit of hope. And so, I hope all y'all have a good day, and until the next video.